All right. Well, hello again to all the boys and girls out there in YouTube land watching. John and Ellie of Georgia Beer Reviews back on this Wednesday evening with my good buddy Michael Komaroff. And we are looking at a beer from Southern Tier. This is from the Southern Tier Overpacked Variety Pack. We looked at a beer from them, I believe it was last Wednesday, the New Juice IPA. What we're looking at tonight is their 2 times IPA, which is a double IPA, clocking in at 8.2% alcohol. They don't disclose the IBUs. We both have pretty fresh dates on our beers, I think. Mine is June 23rd, so just over a month old. I think yours is probably even fresher.
No, yours is fresher. Mine's on June 12th.
Okay. Well, both pretty dang fresh.
It is 80 IBUs off the website.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go. I will add that in there. So pretty bitter. I mean, you know, just from an IBU standpoint, now a lot of times IBUs don't necessarily translate to bitterness, so we'll see how it does with this one. I've been very impressed with the variety pack so far. It was $17.99 for a 15-pack, and got to try, what was it, five different beers, 3 of each. So a very nice selection of beers in the variety pack.
My daughter picked it up for $2 less than that at Costco, but the same kind of price range.
Right. I think either way, you can't go wrong with the value because you get to try a lot of different styles, you know, good craft brews. There's my pour, Michael. Nice hazy yellowish orange color.
I did one of my specialty head pours.
Right. So obviously yours has a bigger head because of the type of glassware. Even this glass, though, it poured with a nice sized head.
Both heads are creamy white, right?
Yeah, I would say, yeah, relatively creamy white head. Definitely getting hit with those hops right up front. A little bit more on the West Coast side of things with the aromas as far as the hops are concerned. I'm definitely getting
I'm getting some citrus in the nose as well.
Yeah, citrus for me, I'm interpreting it as grapefruit, which translates more to a West Coast. And then there's a little bit of that resinous piney note on the aroma as well.
Yep, I agree with that.
It still has a malty aroma too. Once you get through that initial burst of hops on the aroma, there is like a bready malt note that comes through. Maybe a light caramel note on the aroma.
Let's see. Yeah, I'm getting that too.
And that's pretty much all I'm getting on the aroma because the hops are so up front.
The hops are very dominant in this beer.
Yeah, definitely the lead. So
you ready to go in?
Let's do it. Cheers. Hop forward for sure. Not so much grapefruit. The citrus translates to the palate, but it's more of like an orange citrus. And then the piney resinous notes are there, but not overpowering, not as strong as I thought they would be from the aroma. And then in the middle, the malt character is really the saving grace for this one. It's not a total palate wrecker. It's got some nice malt character, caramel, toasted bread notes. And the carbonation is kind of on the medium side too, to kind of freshen it up a little bit and cut through the bitterness. It's actually pretty well balanced. I was not expecting it to be as well balanced just because the aroma was just hops in your face right up front. I'm not necessarily getting that with the palate, although it is hoppy.
As I said about the beer that I did in the Wild Card Wednesday, the Stone beer that I had, which was also probably an example of a West Coast beer.
Right.
It would not be a good entry beer for somebody trying as their first IPA, and this one would not be either. But for 80 IBUs, it's not a palate wrecker, like you say. It's not like a resin. It's not in your face.
Yeah, I wouldn't necessarily, if you didn't mention the 80 IBUs and I was just guessing, I would probably say like 65 I wouldn't go as I wouldn't guess that it was 80 IBUs.
Some breweries have the way to they can hide the IBUs as well in their combination of malts and hops, so they can tone it down. You heard Brian talking about how his was 90 IBUs, I think, and he said it didn't really taste that bitter.
Right. Yeah, and he's a home brewer, and he really knows what he's doing with that. He balances out his beers really nicely. Actually got to try one of his beers. He sent me two of them, but one of them was destroyed. The wonderful Postal Service just has no disregard for big packages around here, I guess.
You seem to have had bad luck on a couple of yours where you've gotten one, or one that you did yourself when you put your little knife action in there and took care of one.
Yeah.
Didn't you wreck one can with when you were trying to unbox it?
Oh, yes. I did that, but I've also had two other packages that were sent to me. One from Brian. He sent me one of his IPA home brews. I don't think it was the one he drank tonight, but he sent me a different one. And, of course, it was handled roughly, and it was in one of those Grolsch bottles, and it had exploded in the box. And then Bumpy sent me some beer mail a while back, and one of the home brews that he sent me also didn't make it. And then Drunken One sent me a package that just never showed up at all. So
was it ever located?
It was finally sent, returned to Drunken One, but it was well over a month after he initially sent it. And he sent it with beef jerky and some fresh veggies from his garden. So when he got it back and opened the box, of course, all of the veggies and stuff had rotted in the box.
God. Makes it kind of messy, doesn't it? I guess that's
right. So I'm sure he got quite the the singed nostril hairs when he opened the box and took a whiff of that.
I've been told by people who ship beer now, you're almost better off sending it FedEx, because if nothing else, they seem to take better care of the beer. I don't know about UPS. They might be all right also.
UPS is pretty good. That's what I use to ship, and I've never had any issues. And Robert the Whiskey Scout has sent me some beer mail, liquor and beer mail, and never had a problem with any of his stuff. The only time I have problems is from the United States Postal Service.
Now, Jeremy and I did do the one trade we made, but it was a smaller trade, and we made it in the fixed box. You know, there's a box at a certain size.
Okay.
We did it in that, and with a small amount of beers. I think we sent each other 4 beers each. Now, when you're sending like my cousin did, remember the big thing from North Carolina?
Right.
He sent that, what's it called? Postal Service, and it didn't get wrecked. A couple of cans got, a little bit nicked up, but the biggest problem was a couple of them were overaged. In other words, he had sent me stuff which was old, and when I opened it up and poured it, and it was mostly sediment, it was a couple of them with drain ports. I only have one black IPA left from anything he sent me, and most of it was very good. So.
Really? Okay.
The one I did last week on Stout Sunday was one I bought myself in Raleigh. That was not from him.
Right. Yeah. We've got Angela in the chat, says, cheers, John and Michael. Cheers to you, Angela. Thanks for tuning in. Angela. And we also have Jeremy Vincent in the chat.
Jeremy back. Good talking.
There he is. So cheers, Jeremy. Back to the beer. We're drinking the Southern Tier Brewing Company. They're out of Lakewood, New York. This is their 2 times IPA double India Pale Ale, 8.2%, 80 IBUs.
Now, John, I didn't mention, but it does mask the 8.2% as well, even though it does not taste like a session beer. It's a little bit more than a session beer.
Right. The alcohol is definitely masked well, but the body doesn't necessarily indicate that it's a higher ABV beer, but it does have more of a medium body. So even though the alcohol is well masked, you really wouldn't want to drink too many of these because it would be rather filling, I would imagine, after 2 or 3.
I agree.
We've also got a new view. I've never seen this guy, I don't think, in the chat. Josh Abrams, thanks for stopping by. He says, hey, I sell Southern Tier. Okay. Well, Josh, I live in Georgia, Noonan. I'm about 30 miles south of Atlanta, and we get like the variety pack. I'm drinking we're drinking the double IPA tonight out of the variety pack. but I don't get a lot of their of you guys' specialty beer. So maybe Southern Tier can distribute a little bit more of the really high end stuff to Georgia, because I would definitely buy it. So
Josh,
I know Michael gets a better selection up in New York where he is than I do.
So Josh is aware of the whole artisanal ventures thing with Southern Tier, Victory, and Six Point, which Six Point is the one that's closest to me. But I try to buy Southern Tier, Victory, and Six Point to help all those companies because they're all under the same umbrella.
Right. That's another company. I wish we got 6 Point beers down here. Obviously, with everything going on in the world right now with the COVID-19, I don't know, if that's even a possibility right now. But hopefully, I will at least get some of the basic offerings, like the resin and the maybe some
Bengali,
Bengali, and maybe a couple of their Gozas sour line. Of course, I would love the Master Blend series because that was incredible. But I don't think they're gonna bring that this far south. But you never know.
Will you be back in time on Monday for Malty Monday from your trip to your nephew's communion?
Yes, his baptism is actually on Saturday at 10 a.m. So I may actually be back on Sunday in time for Stout Sunday, but I just wanted to make sure that if I wasn't, that
you'll let us know on Sunday morning if you are hosting.
Right, and even if I'm back, I'm okay with Ron hosting. That way, I don't really have to. I could just kind of hop on. Either way, it doesn't matter. But yeah, if I'm able to join for Stout Sunday, I definitely will. But I do need to get the oil changed in my car as well, and my dad is willing to help me with that. So I may stay on Sunday morning just so he can help me work on my car a little bit, but I haven't really decided yet. So we'll see.
You'll let us know.
Right.
I have a question for you about StreamYard. Jay said to me before, I could monitor some of the calls when I'm on his thing. With what I have on my StreamYard setup here, I don't know how I could possibly do it unless there's something else I could download.
You can't. Unfortunately, what he's talking about, you're not going to be able to do just from this screen. As a moderator on YouTube, like if you had the chat pulled up on your phone, you could block like bad comments and put people in timeouts and stuff. But I think what he wanted you for more than anything was to help kind of read the comments and pull stuff up. But it's not like Google Hangouts was. It's not like you can't share the administrator access stuff with somebody else, because StreamYard is not YouTube. It runs on YouTube, but StreamYard is its own thing. So you can't, if you're a YouTube administrator, it doesn't mean you're a StreamYard administrator. They're two separate entities. Right.
Because he did also make me a moderator now on Alcohol Legs. But since since it's an open site, you really don't have to do much moderation. See, I think I mentioned this to you. I am a moderator on one website, and I'm an administrator on another. And on both of those, I have the right to kick people out. I have the right to. They're both closed sites, so people have to put their videos up, and then you decide whether they're worthy or not.
Right.
And whatever. I think you were on when I said, I'm not doing stuff that's not directly beer related. If you're sending me beer glassware, go on to some other kind of site. It's not, at least not on this one. Maybe there are some beer sites where they'll allow it.
Right, like beer paraphernalia websites, but this is a beer.
Yeah, it's supposed to be. I also got rid of somebody's review because it was an hour and 30 minutes where he rambled. I watched some of it, and we don't need an hour and 30 minutes on guy's lifestyle. That's me. Now, again, as long as these people who I'm doing it with have given me the right, if they don't like what I'm doing, they'll tell me.
They can always take you off as
they can take me off as the moderator, and somehow life will go on. So I can take it. I'm trying to be helpful because it seems like sometimes the moderators on this one are very laid back and they're not always checking what's going on. So I deal with it.
Right. Really quick, let's go back to the chat. What's that?
You like my unshaven?
I do. I like the rough look. You could, you could grow it out. If I could grow out my hair like yours and get have a ponytail, I would, but I can't do it.
My wife does not like it because when I kiss her, she says it's rough. So I'll probably end up having to do it, but that's life.
So let's see. Josh, the new guy in here, is saying that he's a wine and beer sales rep in Virginia.
Okay,
Very
so
cool.
he's midway between us in Virginia, you and me.
Jeremy says that you're becoming a mod on everything now.
Jeremy's one of my big supporters.
And let's see. All right, Jeremy, I'm going to see if I can. Well, you know what? Jeremy says I need to give Yarning with Angela a wrench because she does a great job. She's great. I will give her a wrench. But Jeremy, I noticed that I don't have a blue wrench on your channel. So what's the deal with that? I've been keeping it to myself, but it's kind of upsetting at this point,
So the blue wrench is for a certain amount of time on somebody's site?
The blue wrench on YouTube, it just means you're a moderator. So you're a moderator now on Jay's channel. So if you make a comment in the live chat from now on, it'll show your name in blue instead of gray with a little blue wrench next to it.
Okay, I'm happy you're telling me. I wouldn't have known what it was.
So I am going to add. All right, Angela, you are officially a moderator on my channel. And Jeremy, I'm going to remove you as a moderator on my channel since you have not added me as a moderator on yours. I'm just kidding, buddy. All right.
If you think about it, this group of people that we have, it's like a great group of people. It's, really, I was really sorry that Ron Sutton couldn't get on because even if he was
interested, I really kind of wanted to know what he had.
I thought he was going to do hams again. But even if he was going to do hams again, that would have been okay.
Angela says Jeremy Vincent.
You made Angela's day now. You made her day.
I made her day and I ruined Jeremy's. Jeremy, you're still a moderator. Don't worry, my friend. Thanks to everybody in the chat. You guys are definitely entertaining us here. Glad you guys could join on such short notice. We just kind of threw this together. And if anybody in the chat has the beer and wants to join, just say something really quick before we go off air, and I'd be happy to let you in. But I did post a link on the Beer Talk chat and Hangouts. So, Jeremy, I know you're in there. But anybody else that might want to join before we go off air here, just let me know. I wanted to point this out. Michael, look at the lacing on the glass here.
Mine, too. Look at mine also.
It's got incredible lacing, yeah.
You see my lacing, too?
Yeah. Yours is more splotchy. Mine is like you could see every sip I took. There's like a
yours all over your glass. Mine's spread out. But the lacing is good, though. Now, you tell me if this is happening to yours also. The alcohol is getting more intense as it warms. Is that happening with you?
Let me see. I'm not really getting any alcohol, but it is slightly warming going down. So I know, I now know that it's a higher ABV beer because of the warming effect, which I was not getting when it was very cold.
When it was cold, I didn't get it either. Now I'm starting to get it.
Right.
And we've only been on for a little less than 19 minutes, so it doesn't take much time for an IPA or this kind of beer to cool down a little bit. And mine was not ice crackly cold when I started.
Right.
Cold.
One thing I will see.
What Alabama beers are you going to look for while you're up at your parents'? Do you think? Is there anything?
Well, unfortunately, the World Market that I used to go to, they had all the great craft beer. Really well. I say all the great craft beer. They had a large craft beer selection. The World Market has closed.
Oh, so you don't have that.
And Alabama is very different than Georgia. Like I can go to Peachtree City and Fayetteville and Fairburn and go to these big like liquor and craft beer grocery stores. Alabama they have state-run liquor stores that don't sell beer at all. They have like ABC Beverage. I don't know if you've heard of ABC Beverage. That's basically what they have. They don't have a ton of craft beer places. So if you're a big craft beer person, you kind of have to like find a specialty store, which is not easy to do in Alabama. So you're stuck at like the big stores like Walmart, Publix. They still have Winn-Dixie in Alabama. They sell some beer, there. Stores like that. So you don't really get the selection So honestly, I probably won't get any beer when I'm in Alabama this weekend because the craft beer selection in Alabama is nowhere what it used to be. And after World Market shut down, which by the way happened before the COVID-19 thing, they shut down at the end of 2019. I guess they just weren't selling. It wasn't just craft beer, wine. They also sold like specialty food products like jellies, jams, hot sauces, stuff like that. For whatever reason, they shut down, and that was my go-to place. So,
do you have Piggly Wiggly in Alabama?
We have Piggly Wiggly in Georgia. There is Piggly Wiggly in Alabama, but not anywhere near Montgomery. North Alabama, and then like way south Alabama are where the Piggly Wigglies are.
Because I was just trying to think when I was in Atlanta, they had the Winn-Dixie was there in Metro Atlanta.
Right.
The stuff that Jay buys from Albertsons. Do you have any Albertsons in Georgia?
No, we do not have Albertsons. We do not have Trader Joe's here in Georgia. There are Trader Joe's in Alabama, but up near Birmingham. So no. Well, wait. We do have Trader Joe's in Georgia. I'm sorry, in Atlanta, not near me, really. But there are Trader Joe's in Alabama as well. Angela brings up this here, which is she's talking about Aldi beers. I have an Aldi store right down the street, and Aldi is much like Trader Joe's. They have they have a lineup of beer that is only sold at Aldi stores, just like Trader Joe's has their Trader Joe's specialty beers. So Aldi sells a lot of stuff too. Honestly, I need to go to Aldi again soon.
You have to check. Because the reason you have to check is we have Aldi stores in New York, but they don't sell beer.
Right. Well, the Aldi here sells beer and wine. They have a few like big brands like Corona, Budweiser, mostly InBev stuff, Bud Light, and then they have all of their brands. I think a year or so ago I sent you a picture. I took a picture like at the row, all stuff that you can't get anywhere else. And if you look at the labeling, it's like brewed by Big Party Source or some weird name. And if you Google it, it basically says that it's a contract brewed beer for distribution only at Aldi stores.
I'm aware of them because we have close friends who live in Brooklyn near us, but have like a summer home in Western Connecticut. And they go up near, and the Aldi in Torrington, Connecticut is where they do it. And last year, or 2 years ago, he brought me back some of it. And they will again this year. I'll have to tell him what I want. But It seems like in the Northeast, the only Aldi states are Vermont and Connecticut. New York and New Jersey do not have beer. So the fact you have Georgia is great.
And Josh is still in the chat. He's asking about Lidl's. We do not have Lidl's in Georgia. I don't know about New York, but when I went to go visit William Kepley up in North Carolina, I went with him to a Lidl's. They also have their own brands, store brand beers and wines there. So I did get some good stuff from Lidl's when I was in North Carolina.
It's funny that Josh mentions that because today at the beach club, somebody told me that there's one in Staten Island. Now, the problem with that is you got to go across the Verrazano Bridge, which is like $18. So that becomes a cost thing. Now, how about if you had to go to North Atlanta and pay an $18 toll? You might think twice about doing it. So I'm not doing that. Also one out on Long Island, which wouldn't cost me anything in tolls. I think it said it was in Plainview, but somewhere out on Long Island in Suffolk County, it would still be a 60-mile drive. And I don't know anything about Lidl, except it's supposed to be like Aldi.
Right. Okay. Lidl is a lot like Aldi. Lidl's actually kind of a step above. Aldi here is very, very small. Like it's probably the whole store is about as big as my apartment. And I have a one-bedroom apartment, so not a very big store.
We have major Aldi stores. It's a major supermarket, but it doesn't have beer.
They're big. Well, they're basically in my area. The Aldi stores are very, very small, kind of like a Dollar General or a Family Dollar, like size-wise. Very small stores, but they have food. Whereas Dollar General has food, and so does Family Dollar. But Aldi has fresh produce as well. Whereas Dollar General and Family Dollar, I don't believe they do. But anyway, yeah, I need to go back to all the.
I didn't mention this to you before. The other change, I have one beer thing at my house coming up a week from tomorrow. The change in it, we're not going to do any Zoom. And it's not because I don't love doing it with you and everybody else. It's because we're going to have more people. And by having more people, it's going to be harder to, some of the people you've seen are going to come, which I think is great. You saw Brian in one of them. He's coming. You saw Gail. She's coming. Did you see Derek and Jane in the first one you were on? There were another.
So. Yes, yes, I did.
They're coming, and Audrey and I. So we'll have 6 people. And with 6 people, we can do a lot of beers, and it just slows things up. It's not like I don't like it. I enjoy doing it. I didn't mind moderating that. I thought it was a lot of fun. When you have 2 and 3 people, it's better to have more interest and more people in. We're going to try to do it, and we'll have to see, because there have been times when people say they're coming and they don't. So I hope the COVID doesn't affect it.
Right.
They have the quarter to get the cart to go in. You stick a quarter in, you get the cart, and when you come out, you put it back in the machine. It gives you back your quarter. So we do have that with the carts.
I don't think they do that here, because I've been to the Aldi here. It's been probably a year since I've been to Aldi, but I don't remember anything about a quarter. Maybe when I check out, they charge a quarter for the cart on the total tab or something. But
when you do go back there, they have a couple of beers that they import from Belgium, which are made for them in Belgium by
they're not as good as the Trader Joe's stuff from the Unibrow.
No, they're not. But they're still average.
And they're good. They're still
the price is good. You know, it's like $6 a 6-pack kind of stuff, which it's still good. I guess that's why when you hear me complain about the mystery 6-pack, which I'm paying 85 cents a can or bottle, it sounds like it's sour grapes, and it shouldn't be. But I know it's a good deal, or else I wouldn't keep buying them.
Right.
And it allows me to let my daughter just buy it, and I don't have to look through all the different beers, because my wife gets mad when we shop together. We go in, and she says, "Michael, how long are you going to stay looking at the beer?" And I usually just keep doing it the whole time. I don't help her shop at all. And then when she's almost close to finishing, she'll come over and say, "Are you finished yet?" And it's fine. I understand. She doesn't want beer to be my whole life and whatever. But some things are hard to change.
Right.
So,
and you know what? I had the pleasure of meeting Audrey on some of the Zoom things that you let me join, and she likes her beer too.
She's okay. It will never be the major part of her life, though. That's the difference between the two of us. To me, beer is my life. To her, it's a sidelight, but that's okay.
Yeah, a little bit more of a hobby and not so much of a passion, just kind of like a side thing.
It's more of a passion. To her, it's more of a pastime to spend time with her husband. John, I got to go. So you want to?
Yes. Yes. Let's go ahead and give our ratings really quick. I just wanted to read this. I thought it was hilarious. Yarning with Angela says Aldi wine is great too. My mom got blitzed on a pineapple wine from Aldi's. She's never been that drunk in her life. We had to carry her out of my brother's house on Father's Day. Great memories, LMAO. All right, good stuff. Okay, so I already know what I'm gonna give it. It's a 93 out of 100 for me. Just getting into the solid A range, and if you really like the double IPAs more along the lines of the West Coast with a little bit more bitterness and the resinous qualities, then your score would probably be much higher than mine. I still think it's a solid A, though. It's just a little bit on the low end for me because I'm more of a New England guy. I like the more fruity, tropical fruit IPAs.
I'm going to give it a 94 because maybe I like that resinous quality a little bit more than you do.
Okay. So still, I think for both of us, that's still a solid A, maybe a little bit on the low end, but it's still a solid A. And to get the variety pack, to have the 8.2% alcohol, to have the there was another one, a 7. I can't remember which one it was. There's some good higher ABV beers, good quality craft beers in the variety pack. So definitely go check it out. If you can find the Southern Tier overpacked variety pack, definitely worth it. And it's a 15-pack, not a traditional 12-pack. So we'll go ahead and wrap it up. Thanks for everybody. Thanks to everybody for joining in the chat. We really appreciate it. Thank you, Michael Komaroff, as always. Always enjoy hanging out with you.
Hosting.
Yes, sir. So we will go ahead and end it there. Hope everybody's having a great Wednesday evening, and we'll see you all on the next one. Tune in for Stout Sunday. They'll either be on my channel or Louisiana Beer Views. Check it out, and cheers, everybody.
Bye.